No class in here.
Hey, Paulie, don't get mentally irregular.
It's a free country.
Just don't get irregular, all right?
Eye of the tiger, come on.
Rocky 3. Surprised how it goes straight in with the montage from the last film. It goes straight in with Survivor, Eye of the Tiger. Bam, 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 bam. That is right at the beginning of the film. I thought they'd build up to it and use it sparingly or use it at the end, but nope, it's right there from the start. There's a montage in this of multiple unseen fights. Mr. T is basically kind of instantaneously introduced as like the most avid audience member of like Rocky fights and fights between other people. The movie starts with this series of montages that seem to go on forever, and it's a music-only montage that tells like the entire story of the film without letting any character in the film have their first line, it seems. It's far too much montage. It's like, okay, we get it. Rocky is now as famous as Apollo was in the first movie. Less montage, more film, please. It's amusing when you see those old kind of arcade machines at a mall, like the arcade computer machines in the big boxes that people in that era used to go and play. Paulie at this point is thinking, how come Rocky's famous and I'm not famous? Oh yeah, I remember I didn't do anything and I was a complete jerk the whole time. And he's like envying Rocky's fame and stuff. Rocky does this weird small charity fight against Hulk Hogan, the wrestler. I don't even know how you can how can you have a fight between a boxer and a wrestler? And isn't wrestling sort of mostly acted, whereas boxing is actual fighting? Kinda hope people don't take wrestling seriously too much. I don't think they do. Yeah, I don't know how that scene works, but anyway, Hulk Hogan fights Rocky, and he picks him up like a little child in the ring because he's this massive man.
You know, sometimes charity really hurts.
You can see Rocky's actually gained some muscle for this movie. He looks way bigger than he did in the previous two films. Rocky and Adria have a kid, and Rocky Jr. is just as annoying as I thought he'd be. And by the very end of all the films, you'll still think that Rocky's son is annoying. I think Creed in the last one, or the new... I can't remember what he's named. Adonis Johnson. I think that's the guy's name. Or Adonis Creed. I don't know if he takes that name in the end or not. Is more of a son to Rocky than his actual son is. The main film where Rocky's son is good, I think, is the fifth film, which makes up the bulk of what's good about that film. Anyway. There's a bit where they're out on, I think they're on the Philadelphia steps, they're unveiling a statue, and the Rocky theme is being played within the movie diegetically. Like, the characters can hear their own fictional theme tunes themselves. What the I think they're being played by a brass band, and it just, yeah, it's so weird when that happens. It's like if Darth Vader heard his own Imperial March theme on a radio in the Death Star, was like bobbing along to it. Oh yeah, that's me. That's my one. Why does that happen in movies? I mean, non-diegetically, yes, but not within the scene for the characters to hear. Rocky starts to appear more mature in this one than he had in the previous movies. He's more Stallone than he is Rocky in these movies. Kind of dropped part of the dumb bum sort of persona and is a little more evolved, I guess, past that way of thinking. Mr. T appears. I can't remember what the character's name is at this point. I've probably got it in my notes. I've seen so many parodies in Family Guy now that I just think of that bit where there's the woman version of Mr. T in the episode of Family Guy, and she's like, "Hey, I'm milking me a cow."
That's my husband you're talking to.
Yeah? Well, what are you gonna do about it? You gonna fight me? Look at me, Griffin! I'm milking me a cow! Moo for me!
So Mr. T appears in this film and he's like, "Hey woman! Hey woman!"
Hey, woman! Hey, woman!
And he's like Apollo Creed's brother straight out of hell or something.
I'm telling you and everybody here, I'll fight him anywhere, anytime, for nothing. If he ain't no coward, why don't he fight me then?
He's like, really enraged and focused and kind of a loner. He doesn't want any of the press around him while he's training. He's just focused on being the best boxer and doesn't really want anything else. Mick's like, it's not worth it. Don't fight this guy. This guy'll kill you to death. So there's like 2 fights, I think, with Mr. T in this movie. And the first one, they're not putting any effort into their training process. So there's lots of good moral tales here about how fame and money and hedonism and laziness can screw up your focus. You got civilized, you know, have loads of money and you just sit back and you don't get Spartan, you don't get to that stage Rocky was in the first movie where he's poor, he didn't have anything, but he worked with what he'd got.
You're gonna kill him!
Have like the luxurious training places and don't put enough effort in, then you don't win the fight. And Rocky and Mick do the kind of flip-flopping thing about whether they should fight or not for a while. And Rocky's like, I'm not gonna fight. I must fight. I can't fight. Let me fight. And Mick's like, don't fight, Rocky. You fight without me. The fight stays on. I love how menacing Mr. T is in this film.
Dead meat. You scared? Maybe wait.
They just do all these little close-ups, and they do one during the Apollo fight, and he's like, dead meat. Oh right, that's the guy's name, Clubber. He's a boxer, and his name is that. And Rocky has a dog that's a boxer breed. It's all covert puns. Rocky doesn't put enough training effort into his getting ready to fight Clubber Lang the first time. As a result, he gets beat almost to within an inch of losing his life. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Mick has a heart attack and dies. At the funeral, Rocky looks like he's some sort of FBI agent. He's got these giant black rim sunglasses. So Rocky almost gives up on fighting, but then Apollo comes back and asks to train him to do another fight. And he's like, we held the greatest fight in the whole world, babe. I'm like, get a room, you two. And he says to Rocky, you had the eye of the tiger, man.
Eye of the tiger, man.
I couldn't work out whether, is this a chicken or the egg thing, whether the song came first or he said that in the script and the Survivor band who wrote the song looked at the script and named their song after the script. Which came first here? Did the song inspire the line or did the line inspire the song? Is the line promoting a song? Apollo's like, and you're gonna owe me a big favour, Rocky, once this is over. What favour? Is it sex? 1980s city life montage. Paulie's like, why are we in LA? This is disgusting. Rocky's like, hey Paulie, don't get mentally irregular. Beach begins, missing half his t-shirt. Was he boxing a grizzly bear or something? So there's some great cinematography in this movie, and this training stuff is great. All the stuff between Rocky and Apollo training, like on the beach and in the like LA gym and stuff, is fantastic. Great cinematography. I think they should have taught Adrian to box. That would have been good. Or like have a female boxing contender in the later films. They haven't done that yet. It's not important, it's kind of identity politics, but is there mixed female to male boxing matches? I'm not sure if that would be unfair or not. It might be biologically unfair, but you'd have to really evenly match the two contenders for it to work. I love the beach training stuff. I really want to do that, you know, go on a long jog around like a really long stretch of flat beach. We've got a couple down here in Cornwall that'd be quite nice for that. And then they're about to do a second fight with Clubber Lang, and this time he's actually been trained and hasn't been sitting in the lap of luxury this whole time. So and they're backstage with Clubber and they go, what's your prediction for the fight, man? My prediction? Your prediction for the fight? My prediction? Pain. Awesome. And they have a really close, like, zoom into his face as he says it. And, like, Apollo and Rocky are backstage, and Apollo's like, here, have my underwear. He gives him the United States flag kind of glitzy underwear that he had from the first movie. I like that during this last fight he's like ducking and dodging the punches. That's something new. At one point Rocky's in the corner after having a round and he slurps a big mouthful of water and then just spits it out over Paulie's chest. It's so funny. And then after he wins there's like this little behind closed doors playful boxing match between Apollo and Rocky. It's like, you want to ring the bell? Super sarcastic tone. Ding, ding. Always makes me think of Cleveland on Family Guy now.
Want to ring the bell, Apollo?
All right. Ding, ding.